This video is about quadratic graph sketching using completing the square method. If you have watched the earlier video, that is for factorization. Um, Certain exam paper might ask you to complete the square first, then ask you to sketch the graph using complete the square form. So this will address this question. All right, step by step. Again, ensure that the equation is in complete the square form. 2. Predict the shape of the graph, again by looking at the coefficient of the x squared term. 3. Find the x root and the outside constant. Later on in the example, I will show you what this means. 4. After you have done number step 3, you can identify the turning point, which is the coordinates. 5. Join the curve and label the coordinates of the turning point. 6. Draw in both the axes. Then 7. Find the y-intercept by substituting x equals 0. Now, usually there is no x-intercept for complete the square form, because it will usually be above the x-axis or below, and then it doesn't cut. But there is a chance that it might cut the x-axis. Then in this case, you will have to do extra job. You just have to go and sub in y equals 0 to find the x-intercept. Okay, now I'm just going to come through with an example. First thing, ensure that the equation is in complete the square form. Now it's not in complete the square form, so we have to complete the square first. So y is equal to x plus 1 square minus 1 plus 3. So we're going to have x plus 1 square plus 2. Okay, I have already completed the square. This is completed the square form. Next, predict the shape of the graph. Now, the graph you can predict by looking at the coefficient of the x squared term here. There's nothing in front, so it's a 1. Positive 1. So if it's a 1, means it's a U-shaped curve. Next, find the x root and the outside constant. Now, this here inside your square is x plus something or x minus something. This is what I mean by your x root. So let x plus 1 equal 0. So x will be minus 1. This is your x root. And your outside constant, the number that is outside your square. This is your square. The number outside is your plus 2. So I call this my outside constant. So y equal to plus 2. I'm just going to box this, because this links to my fourth step, which is identify the turning point. In this case, my turning point will be x coordinate is minus 1, and my y coordinate will be 2. Draw in the curve and label the coordinate. Now, I already have the turning point, which is a minimum point, and it's a U-shaped graph. So, I can just draw in first. Just draw U. Be very confident. Put in the x, label it. Okay, based on these two numbers, draw in the x-axis and the y-axis. So if this is minus 1, your y-axis should be, your x-axis will be to the right. Your y-axis to be to the right. Your x-axis should be below. So this is your y-axis. This is your x-axis. Next, find the y-intercept by substituting x equal to 0. So sub x equals 0. So y equal to 0 square plus 0 plus 3. For those of you who are sharp enough, you will know that the y-intercept is actually just the last number in your original equation. Not the complete the square form, the normal form. Okay, so it's 3. So this will be 3. Again, do a logic check, please. Always ensure that the minimum point is 2. Your y-intercept cannot be lower than your minimum point. So if your y-intercept you find 1, the value you get 1, and your minimum point is 2, then something is wrong somewhere. There must be a mistake in your working. So please go and check. Okay, I'm going to give another next example. This one. Now I have given this as a negative coefficient of your x squared term. So this will give you an n-shaped graph. So first, ensure that the equation is complete the square form, and it's not, so I have to do it again. Y equal, because the coefficient is not 1, positive 1, I have to take out the negative first. Negative bracket x squared plus, no, it's not plus anymore, it's minus. Okay, minus 4x plus 10 after I take out the negative. Y equal negative big bracket x minus 2 square minus 4 plus 10. Okay. Plus 6. So y equal negative x minus 2 square minus 6. Okay. Now, this is a n-shaped graph because I look at the coefficient x squared term is negative. Just put here first. Find the x root and the outside constant. So same thing, my x root is x minus 2 equals 0. So my root is 2. And by observing our outside constant is minus 6. So my next step, my turning point is 2 comma minus 6. Drawing the curve and label the coordinate of turning point. So same thing, M shape, draw in, mark it, and this should be 2 comma minus 6. Okay, y coordinate is minus 6, that means my x-axis must be on top. Since this is 2, that means my y-axis must be to the left. Okay, just let it cut. Don't draw until it's out and then it doesn't look like it's cutting. Okay, so we have this. Just do a visual check and make sure that it's in the correct. Then now I'm going to find the minimum point. Drawing both axes. Find the y-intercept by substituting x equal to 0. So same thing. Sub x equal 0. So y equal 0 plus 0 minus 10. So it's minus 10. Now you might be wondering, if it's just this number, the y-intercept is this, we know that it's this number. Why is it that I still insist on step 7 as substituting x equals 0 instead of saying, oh, let's look at the last number, the term that is independent of x, or the constant term. Why do I still insist on something x? Because sometimes the question might not ask you to complete the square first before sketching the graph. The question might give you complete the square form and ask you to sketch if they give you this instead. And then you remember, oh, it's the term that is independent, and then you will take minus 6, and then you get it wrong. So even if they give you this and you sub in 0, 0 minus 2, minus 2. Minus 2 squared will give you 4. Minus 4, minus 4 minus 6, minus 10. You'll still get it correct. So it's more fail-proof rather than just looking at the final, the outside term that is independent of x. So it's safer.